Hello, hello. Welcome to day two of our 8 days Power Apps Beginner course. I hope you had a great one yesterday. I know yesterday we introduced Power Apps, we introduced Power Platform. We were able to see how Power Apps relate to the other Power Platform tools, which was fantastic. We also showed you the studio, the Power App Studio, because this course is focusing on Power Apps, Canvas App specifically. So we showed you the Canvas App Studio. We took you through some of the controls yesterday, and we also talked about the data types. We had some intro into the data types. We will talk more about the data types and in a later class. But today we are going to go dive deep into some of the controls a little more, right? As I said yesterday, Power Apps is like Excel and PowerPoint, right? So we felt that we need to talk about the PowerPoint side of things in the sense, right? We'll talk about the controls, how to customize them, how to wire them together to work together. So we're going to do a lot of that today, right? So Molola will take you through that, and I'll hand over to her now. So thank you, welcome, and you would learn a lot today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. All right. So thank you so much, David, for that amazing introduction and everything that we're going to be doing today. David has said that I'm just going to delve into more things. So welcome everyone again. And so around 10 a.m. today, we sent you links like we promised yesterday. We sent you links. We sent you our slides, right, for you to go through them. So if you have gone through them, then we are going to dive into what we have today, and it will be very easy for you. But before I go on, we're just going to do some few things. Things like, first, tell us where you are joining us from today. Where you're joining us from, we want to know where you're joining us from. Another thing is, if you have created your developer account, right? Can you say hi? Oops. Okay, so we have a little bit of glitch. Just give me 1 minute.
Okay, I think we've lost Molola temporarily. But yeah, so again, this is just an opportunity to remind us about the developer accounts. I know we sent emails this morning. We sent emails yesterday, again with a link and a video. So just make sure that you set up the developer account. It's a very simple step and process. I know there is some challenges some people with verifying their phone numbers, but I think sometimes you just have to try again, in terms of the network. But just make sure that you set it up, because that developer account gives you a Microsoft subscription basically for free, right? It's not for business use, it's for development use, it's for learning use, right? So you make sure that you read the terms of use, but it gives you a full subscription. That means that you have access to things like Power BI, you have access to things like Power Apps, you have access to things like Power Automate right from that developer account. And that's why it's very important, because that's the only way you can develop and practice, right? That's why it's so important. I'm trying to push it. I know that there are many people that are joining us that don't know much about Power Platform. There are some that already started working with Power Platform that are already developing in their developer account already. But for many of us, we don't have this account. That's why we are trying to push to make sure, because there's no point coming to this class looking at all we are doing and practice, and you don't have the chance to go back to practice on your own. So that's why we're really focusing on that. Right? So yeah, I will let Lola to continue.
Awesome. Thank you so much, David. And that's basically everything about developer accounts. So I can see that some people are saying that they did not receive mails. I didn't receive mail. Um, Michael is also saying I didn't receive mail. That's fine. That's fine. But before we conclude that you did not receive the mail, please check your spam. Check your spam and let us know if you still did not receive it. Then we'll just look at it and do something about that. All right. So let's go into what we have for you today. So I'm just going to do a quick recap right, about what this training is about. And of course, I will allow the advert to do that. Okay. So let's just take few minutes to go through our advert. All right, so welcome back, everyone. Now, I did that to just give us few seconds for other people to join. So right now, we're not going to do anything slide today. We're just going to delve straight into what we have for today. All right, so I'm just going to share my screen and we'll get rolling. All right, so if you have created your developer account, this is what it's going to look like. And yesterday, I showed us Canvas App Studio. So today, we're just going to build more on that. And I'm assuming that some people did not join yesterday and they've not had the time to, go back and check what everything we did yesterday. So we're going to start from scratch and we're just going to build from ground up. So for you to start, go to create. If you go to create, you will see options that you can actually start your app development with. We are going to select a blank app. Remember that the focus of this course is actually Canvas app. So select create. So we want to create a Canvas app. And for app, just give it a name. Yesterday we gave it 8 days of learning. Today I'm going to say my first Canvas app. All right. My first Canvas app. And it's a tablet format. And I'm going to select create. So I'm going to allow it to load. Like I said, Power Platform is what? A cloud development platform. So when you're creating, it depends on the speed of your internet, right? Now, automatically when you come into this app, you are going to see screen one. The ideal scenario or the ideal way of developing is that you name each of your controls. Remember that a screen is what? Is a control. So this is what we are going to do. We're going to select rename and we say landing page. Landing page. All right. So ideally, anytime you are naming this, don't put space. Landing page. So I'm using the Pascal way to write. The L is capital. Then the next word that I want to put is also capital. So landing page, we have it there. And you have renamed your screen. So we have landing page. Now, we looked at some properties yesterday. So I told you that any control in Power Apps has properties. And we looked at some of the properties of what? Of the screen control. So we are looking at some of the properties of the screen control again today. We are going to use fill, right? And under fill, you can select colors. But I'm going to just go to my properties page and add colors onto my screen, right? Now, there's so many colors I can add to my screen. And today I'm just going to do blue. Okay. Now I've added blue and my screen is telling me add an item from the insert pane or connect to a data. But the name of your screen is what? Landing page. So what we're just going to do now is we are going to create a landing page. And for each control that we bring onto the landing page, I'll be showing you the properties. Remember that after this class, you can actually replay this video, pause, and check again the things that I'm doing. All right. So I have selected one of the colors. Now, this is what my screen looks like. One of the controls that we looked at yesterday is the label control. So we're going to bring in the label control again. So anytime you're trying to learn something, right? It's good that you repeat it over and over again. And that's what I'm trying to do, to repeat some of the things we did yesterday. And we're going to build on that, right? So remember, anytime you bring in a control, you ought to rename your control. So, but then how do you rename a control without even knowing what the control is going to do? So we have the label control. What we want to do is we want to build a landing page. So this landing page is for a company, or let me say it's for a community called Local Techies. So here I'm just going to put low code techies. Now you can see everything is muffled together. I'm going to give it space and spell it well. So low code, I can just put in space techies. So I have low code techies here. I want to make it bigger. Font size. So font size is one of the properties of the label control. So font size from 13, I'm going to make the font size 40, right? So the font size is actually talking to the text inside. It is not talking to the width and the height of the label control itself. So if we want to do something to that, select the label control and come down, you're going to see the size. Now, this size is talking to the label control. What do you want to do? You want to change the width and change the height. You want to increase the width. So let's make the width 300, double, right? It's going to load and you see the effect. Let's make the height 100. But another thing you can just do, you can just, extend. That one is faster. Extend, make it big, right? Local tech is I want to bring it into the middle. So what will I do? I will look for text alignment. This is text alignment. It is also a property of the label control. I'll select middle, align middle, right? Or align center. Now it is in the center. One of the things we did yesterday was also that we changed the style, right? So I'm going to look for the font. Now this is font and I want to change it. Let me look for something that will speak to local techies. All right. And this is what I have here. So local techies, nothing to your face. I just want something simple. Now I have this. Another thing that I want to do, how will this speak of local techies? I need a logo, right? To have a logo, you need to add the image into your Power App Studio. How will you do that? Your side menu bar. So before I go on, the mail that was sent to us, we have links that will actually explain the whole of the studio to us, right? So to speed things up, I'll not be doing that. I'll just, be bringing things in. So your side menu bar, we have media. So media is where you can actually put images, you can put video, you can put audio, depending on what you want to do. Remember, what we're trying to do here is we are trying to build the landing page for low code techies. So we need a logo. The logo is going to come in an image. So what you need to do is to upload the image. So when you click on upload, what is going to happen is this is basically going to open up my document, right? I already have local techies here. So this is my document. This is what it looks like. And so basically, this is my file explorer rather. And I will just select local techies, open. When you select local techies, it is not going to appear on your canvas. So when I say canvas or I say cooking area, remember this is your cooking area, right? It's not going to appear in your cooking area. Rather, it's going to store in your media house. Just take this place as your media house, right? And if you want it in your cooking area, you just select it. like this. So once you select it, it's going to appear. Remember that we told you that Canvas app is what you see is what you get. But another thing that I want to correct is don't get fixated. Don't put so much energy into, oh, it's just drag and drop. I got a comment. Somebody said this looks like Elementor. See, the idea of Power Platform, right, is to lessen the burden of core developers, right? Another reason is, according to researches that have basically been done, they found out that um, organizations need so much apps, right? Because of the changes that have been done after COVID and all of that. Organizations now need more applications, right? The needs of organizations have changed. So the amount of I can't really get the figure right now in my head, but the amount of applications that will be developed in like the next 5 years is about millions of, the number is about, I think, millions, right? For us to get developers that will actually develop all of these applications, the developers that will develop, they are in millions. We do not have 5 years to create core developers, and that's why there's something like local development. So the idea is, my organization needs me. Now my organization here is local techies. So local techies needs me to build them an application. Can I spin it up quickly? When you're looking at Power Apps, don't get fixated on, oh, it's just drag and drop. Rather, what you're looking at is, can this app deliver what I want it to do? Will I be able to build a functional solution? And that's what we are looking at, right? So we have created a screen. We added color to our screen. We added a label control. We changed the font style, the size, the height, the width of the label control. Another thing that we added was the image, right? The logo of Local Techies, so that it will just speak of Local Techies. So we have that here, Local Techies. Now, when somebody enters into this, they already know, oh, this is Local Techies. But as far as I'm concerned, this is not fine enough. So I'm just going to do some changes. What am I going to do? I want this Local Techies image, Local Techies logo to be a little bit bigger, right? So you can just make it bigger. Then I want to give it some curve. For me to be able to give it some curve, part of the properties of image, remember that any control that you drag into your Canvas app as properties. So I want to give it curve. What am I looking for? I'm looking for one of the properties that can actually help me to give it curve, right? That property is border radius. So if I say border radius 40, let's see what will happen. Can you see it has changed? The border radius has changed. So when somebody comes here, they know that, oh, this is the logo of Local Techies and this is what Local Techies look like. So I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger, 60, so we don't spend so much time on this. Okay, when we make it bigger, this is what it looks like. Let us change the font weight to bold. So they just know that, okay, this is Local Techies. Now, what other thing do you think you can actually add to make this really nice? I want to see it in the comments. Put it in the comments. What do you think you can add to make this nice? Put it in the comments, and let's go. Now, another thing that we want to do is, once somebody enters into my application, I want this to automatically go away after some seconds, right? You would have seen some applications that actually do this. For instance, Piggyverse. I use Piggyverse a lot. That's what I used to save. And once I open my Piggyverse, the first page will just disappear. So how did they do this? Can I replicate this particular design using Power Apps? Yes, you can. So I'm going to show you guys another control called the timer control, right? So I'm going to come back here to my tree view and I'm going to go to insert and I'll just search for timer. Let's say I don't know where it is. Once you search, you would be able to bring it. So timer, select timer, and timer drops in your cooking area. The next thing we want to quickly do is to rename all these things so that I know exactly what each is doing. So what is this label doing? This label is the title. So we'll just rename and say organization title, then the image would be Locotechi's logo, or I can just say logo, right? So anytime anybody comes into my application, they know exactly what each is doing. Okay, the logo is no more there. It's going to come um, once this page reloads, right? It was because we renamed it. So we have, this is our timer. Now we'll not see the beauty of this timer until we add a new screen. So remember, how do we add a new screen? Come to new screen and select it. You would see there are different kind of screens that you can actually add to achieve what you want to achieve. So we're just going to add the second screen. So once the second screen appears, we're going to rename this screen and we'll say my first screen. All right. So we have first screen. Remember, we are using Pascal Pascal lettering. That's what we are using, Pascal. And so we have landing page and we have first screen. I told you that the logo is going to come back. So you can see the logo of Locotechies. So now what do I want to do? Anytime I come into this application, I want that after 5 seconds, it will navigate me to the next screen. So what you need to do, select your timer control and the duration. Remember, what do I want? After 5 seconds. So I'm just going to say 5,000 is in milliseconds. So 5,000, that is 5 seconds, right? Now, remember that every control has what? Properties. That should have, it should be ringing in our heads by now. Every property, every control has properties. So we're going to just explore the properties of the timer control. For you to explore the properties of a particular control, you need to select it. All right. Select it. So once you have it selected, the next thing you need to do is to click this. Let us see and explore the properties that we have. So the timer control has duration. The timer control has auto start. It means that if you select this, auto start says false, right? That's the default property. That's the default value. The property is auto start. The default value of auto start is what? False. So I will just say true. So it means that auto start this counter. So immediately you play this page, right? Or immediately somebody comes into this app, the counter is going to start. So auto start, that's the first thing you want to do. Auto start, true. The next thing is on timer ends. So when this timer ends, I want to navigate. So I will just go to on timer end, right? So for on timer end, remember that for us to move to the next screen, what's the function that we write? If you remember, type in the comment section the function that we write. I'm just going to give us 2 seconds to type that. Quickly, type in the comment section. What do you think that we write anytime we want to navigate to a new page? All right, let's go. Navigate. So it's navigate. Navigate is a function. And you're going to say on timer ends, navigate to first screen. All right. Now you can choose how you want to navigate. So you can say comma, screen transition, screen cover, cover right, fade. And if I'm you, what I'm going to do is to try each of these to see um how they work, right? So I'm just going to select cover right. Okay, so my yeah. Now I have navigate first screen, screen transition, cover right, close the bracket. So I've said on timer start, navigate me. However, when somebody comes into this app, I don't want them to see this timer. What will I do? Another property of the timer is what I'm going to use to actually take away the timer. It will be working, but I don't want people to see it. What do? I'll select the timer just like I've done. Anytime you select it, you see that you have selected it. It's going to have all this pointer here, right? You have selected it, and you would look for a property called visible. Visible means that on visible, right? The visibility of this timer, the default, right? The default value is true, but I want to change the visibility to false because I don't want people to see it, right? False. Now we have a beautiful, simple but very beautiful landing page here. So what do we do? Remember, on the top menu bar, if you select play, right, something is going to happen. So if nothing happens, then you can check back to see, oh, what happened? Why didn't anything happen? Let's go back and see. Before we hide it, we are just going to bring this back again and say, let's go to the visibility, turn it to true. We want to see if it was actually counting. Okay, true. Oh, it was not counting. So we are going to go back and check. Why were you not counting? The duration, we've set the duration to be 5,000. Let's check again the property, the auto start. Oh, you can see there's no value in the auto start, and that's why it's not counting. So we have to set the auto start to true. Auto start true. So let us play and see if it's going to count. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It would transition, right? So let's go back to landing page and hide it, right? This is the landing page. We are just going to remember, how do we hide again? The property, select the timer, the property, and go to the visibility, that's visible, and turn it to false. So nobody sees it, right? But once you play your app, as you count, it moves. So we have that. We have timer control, we have logo, we have organization. Rename your timer control. So I can just say timer navigation so that I know that this timer is for navigating to first screen. Now, what do we want to do? Yesterday, we actually looked at operators. So I'm just going to explain this operator so that, we drive it home, right? Operator basically means, if I say 2 plus 2, what's the operator there? If you know what the operator there is, put in the comment section. Put in the comment section. Quickly, quickly, quickly. Now, we have our first screen, right? What do we want to do in the first screen? First, we want something, very uniform. So we are going to use the field control, the field property again. This time, I'm just going to put something very light, say light blue, just, to give them that feel of blue. Now, anytime anybody enters into this app, you want to show their face, right? You want to show anybody that comes into this app. Remember, anybody that comes into this app is somebody from your organization. So the simple thing to just do is to insert the image control, right? You are not inserting an image from your own system. No, that was what we did with the logo. We brought in an image, which is a local text image from our system. But now we want to show anybody that comes into this application. What you're going to use for that is the image control. So just search here and type image. You're going to see the image control, select it. Once you bring the image control to your app, let's just have it here. Like I said, everything has what? Properties. So select this and you can just see you can see different property. It has width, it has height. But you can just make it big from here, make it big. All right. So that means that anybody that comes in here, their image is going to fit into this image control. But how do we insert the image of anybody that comes here? So there's a function called the user function, right? It means any user of this application, I want to get some of their details. Okay. So the user function, it's a function user, then you have the open and close curly bracket. The open and close bracket, not curly. Then if you select dot shows you the property of a particular function. So there are some functions that have properties. Once you click dot, it will show you all the properties that come with that particular particular function. So this is the user function. You can choose the user name. You can try to put user email or put the user image. What do we want? Image. So select image. Remember user image. So this is the image that I've added to my Office 365. So you can see this is my image right here, right? So what we are just doing is, remember, anytime you actually come into Canvas app, you can see this image here. So this was how he actually achieved this user.image. So the next thing I want to do, see how this is round. I want to turn this also, make it round. Anytime you want to do this, this is what you're going to do. Let me quickly teach you a simple trick, right? Your size, just make the size 300, make it uniform. The width, make the width also 300. Now, this is what you have, right? It's still not round. How will I make it round? If you go to your border radius, you're going to make your border radius width plus height. 300 plus 300 is what? 600. Divided by 2 is what? 300. So 300, what do you do? Voila. You have it. But this is too big. So I'm just going to reduce this and say, I'll make this 150. 150. I'll make this also 150. And I'll make the height 150. And I'll make the radius what? 150. 150. And here we are. We have something smaller and round. So we can just put it here. Remember, we want to look more into operations, into operators. So we have the logo here. And just put it anywhere. I'm not so much of a designer. So let's just insert another control. The next control that we are inserting is text input. Okay. So we are inserting text input. What does text input do? You have seen the label control, right? You might be wondering, okay, I've seen label control. I can use label control to do something like write a title. What can I use text input to do? You can use text input to receive values from a user. Okay. So if I play this app, you can see this is text input and you can type into it. Da, 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 da. All right. Now, guess what? Let us see the difference between text input and label control so that when you're to build an application, you know exactly what to do. Okay. So I bring in text, I bring in label control. Label control. I'll just drag it and put it here. So this is my label control. Now, if I'm playing this app, can I write into, if I bring in label, can I write into label control? No, but I can use label control to display a value, right? To display anything. I can use it to do something like showing the title, right? I can use it to also display anything, but I cannot write into it. But text input, I can write into it. Now, let's do operators, right? So we have this, that's our text input 1, and we have our label 2. So we are just going to rename our label 2. I will rename it show my value. Show my value. So ensure you're following me because we are going somewhere, right? Show my value. So this is what we have here for the label control. It's called show my value. This is, so I am not consistent with my casing. Show my value. Remember, we are using Pascal. Show my value. Yes, this is good. So we have text input. We're going to insert another text input because we want to, do some additions, do some multiplications and all of that. Oh, sorry. I added another label. No, we don't need you. What we need is what? A text input. So select text input. So we have our text input here. If you look at this, what does this look like to you? You have seen some applications that it will say username and password, right? Remember, username and password, they are trying to get your username. So they put it, you can put the text input to do what? Receive username, text input to receive password or anything you want to receive. But here, what we actually want to do, we want to, do some little multiplications and all of that. And we'll look at some variables and all of that in Power Apps. So quickly, I want to be able to, if I the first operator we're going to look like, oh, okay, multiplication, right? So what we are going to do is, remember, we want our text label to be able to show value, right? To show value. So anything I type into anything I type into my text input to one, I want you to multiply it with my text input two and the um show me the value. So what am I going to do? I'll select my label, and here in this text, let me take this away, and I will say text input one dot text. So the text inside, right? And I will say times. So text input one times text. What's the second one? Text input two. So text input one times, not bringing it out. Okay, let's go down and look for it. Let's take it one more time. Text input. Let's go up. Yeah, text input two dot text. Okay, so my text input one times my text input two, but this is giving me some error here. So give me error the other time too. I'm just going to change it again and say, okay, oh, that's true. This is my text input one, and I already have some blah 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 text inside it. So the text I have inside my text input one is a string, right? A string. A string is like my name now is a string. Text is a string, and you cannot multiply a string with a value. All right. So that's one of the reasons why it's giving us error. So to be on the safe side, what you can do is we want to learn about operators. So what I actually want to put inside each of these text input one, text input two, I want to put only value. So this is what you can do. I will select my text input one. I'll go to the format and I will say number, right? Number. Now it has cleared what is inside because what I wrote is a string. How do we write a string? Double quotes. So a string. Now I'm going back inside my text input two, and I'm changing the format to what? To number. So if I come to my um, where is our label? Our label is show my value. So if I come to our label, I can now say text, text input, now coming out, text input one dot text input one dot text, multiply text input bring it out. So it's now showing me text input two dot, let's look for text. All right. So now text input one multiplied by text input two, you can see that inside here it says zero because it knows that the value that is going to be supplied into text input one and text input two are what values? They are numbers. So if I say 5, right, and I put in 5 here, it's going to give me 25. If I say 50 and I say 7, 50 multiplied by 7. All right. So now I explained that operators, if you, for instance, say I want to build an application and I want to be able to multiply, say, whatever I have in this box with this box. For instance, I build an inventory system, right? Inventory management solution, something like that. And I want to be able to do some little multiplication, my cost times my capital, something like that. This is what you do. Okay, I get the value wherever I'm storing, whatever control you're using to store the value of what you want to multiply, right? You can actually multiply the two and you'll be able to show your customer, okay, or the management level or anybody that, okay, if I do this, multiply by this is what I have. Or you want to calculate maybe the cost of something. You can do that with multiplications and all of that. So after this class, we're also going to send you a link that you can actually try your hands on building a calculator so you can learn operators. So you're very good with that. But I want to just, take things up and we're going to enter into an organization. See, all these things that we have shown you is just for you to be able to, do some calculations and all of that. However, Power Platform is a data profession. All the things that we have looked at from yesterday, from today, it's just the design aspect and all of that. You will be speaking to data, right? If you want to get information from people, you need to store it somewhere. Where you're storing information is called a database. Now, if you have watched the video that we sent to you, you would know that in the side menu bar, we have something called this data, this link. So this shape, right? If I bite myself. So this shape here, it looks like a cylinder, is it represents data. Okay, so if you want to show some particular data from your data source, this is where you see it, right? You want to add data to your application, this is where you see it. So if you want to build a leave management solution, what do? You bring in data, because once you're collecting data from all the employees in that organization, it has to store somewhere. You want to show a value, you will actually be speaking to the database and you will be collecting a value. Now, what are the kinds of database that you can actually use with the Power Platform? If you're doing something like, say, for people that write JavaScript and all of that, you would have heard, or you would actually know. Of course, if you're writing JavaScript, HTML and all of that, you're actually talking to the front end and all of that, right? So if you have ever heard of anything like SQL, you definitely know that SQL is a database. The kind of data that you store inside SQL is SQL is a relational database, right? Means that you're storing data in what? In rows and column, rows and column. How many people make that mistake? Rows and column, right? Like cross. All right. So it means that, like your Excel also stores data like that. You have column, you have things like name, then in the row, that's the item. You have Lola, you have Ola, you have Shade, you have Mukwe, and all of that. Then you have another column that says cars. Then you have cars like Toyota and all of that, all of that, all of that, all of that. Now, what do we want to do? We want to quickly add data to our um, application. There are different, like I said, there are different kind of databases that you can actually use. So there's something called connector in the Power Platform. Connector basically means that it's like a bridge. So my data resides in SQL. My data resides in SharePoint. My data resides in Excel. Excel is not a database. Don't try it. But let's assume that my data resides in Excel, my data resides in SharePoint, my data resides in SQL, or wherever your data actually resides. A connector is a bridge. All right, see it as a bridge. It helps you speak to your it helps you actually speak to your data, where your data is. So now, what I'm actually going to do now is I want to add data, right? But I purposely did not create the database because I want to show you quickly how you can actually create your database. So what do I mean? We can just create um, a simple list. Now, another thing I need to explain to you is that all these extra, I call them extra because they are paid. What am I talking about? SQL, um, which other one is out there? Dataverse is, yesterday we said that Dataverse is actually our dedicated database. So SQL, Dataverse, all these are paid databases. So you need to know these things so that when you are creating an application for a customer and they say, oh, my data actually resides where? In my in SQL. I want you to be able to, can you use Power Apps to speak to that? Yes, I can use Power Apps to speak to that, but your license will actually be a premium license, meaning that this is not a basic kind of connector. Remember, connector. So it's not a basic connector that I'm going to use. I'm going to use a premium connector. However, we want to do something very simple. So I'm going to show you how to quickly create a simple list in SharePoint. So we're going to create a simple list in SharePoint. And don't worry, you actually have SharePoint. If you have created your developer account, you have SharePoint. So we'll create a simple list in SharePoint. How do we do that? And we're going to bring it into our uh, uh, into this particular app using connector. And I'm going to show you all of that. Now, like I said, we are already going deeper, deeper, deeper into app building. You're going to see all of that today. But before I go on, let me see what you are saying. What are you saying? Are you lost? Should I pick you up from somewhere? Is there anything you want to say to me? And all of that. So let me quickly hear you guys and see. Okay, so let's just see what people are saying. Oh, somebody was helping me. I was saying cylinder. All right, plus yes, 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 yes. All right. So if you are where I am, say hi, hi, hi. If you want us to stop here, or you want us to go into creating of database, bringing it into our Power Apps, say hi, say hi, say hi. If not, we're not going to go further. Say hi, say hi, say hi. Let me hear from you. Are you still here with me? Should we go on and create? All right, I'm seeing some good comments. Should we go on and create a database? Yes, yes, we are good. Go ahead. But I need more. 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 Come on. Okay, so we're going to go on a quick break. So before we come back, right, I want you to open your SharePoint. I want you to open your SharePoint. If you don't know where SharePoint is, once I come, I'm going to show you. So I want you to open your SharePoint. So let's go on a quick break. All right, welcome back, everyone. Awesome. So let's just delve right into it. We're going to go now and show us how to get this done. All right. Remember we said we want to add our data. So I told us to open our SharePoint. So what we actually want to do now is to quickly open our SharePoint. And we're just going to create 2 or 3 columns. So when you open your SharePoint, you have site already, and David is actually going to delve into this tomorrow, right? But for today, what we're just going to do is you're going to enter into any of your sites that we have here. I'm just going to enter into my last site, and here I'm going to go to new, and I'm going to create a list. So it's saying that, do I want to create a list from blank? Do I want to create a list from existing, from Excel, from CSV? I'm just going to create a list from blank. And the name is going to be, let's just say learning Canvas app. All right. So you can say show inside navigation. I don't want to show inside navigation. I'm just going to click on create. Now that I'm creating this is what my list looks like, right? So let's just quickly add text. So now for each column that you're also bringing into your list, it has data types. So the first data type that I'm going to add is what? Is the text. No, I'm going to add a person data type, right? Because I want to be able to get the staff name. A staff is a person. So you're going to see how person field actually works in Power Apps as we go on, right? So we are going to select save. The next thing that we are going to do is to add another data type. And yeah, you're going to add another column with, another data type, which is the text data type. So click on next. And this, I'm just going to say description, save. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to go to settings. I'm going to go to list settings. What do I want to do? By default, when you are creating a list, by default, your title is required, means that people must actually fill your title. But this one, I don't want to make it required. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to select title. Remember that you can actually pause this. You can rewind after now. All right. So require that this column contains information. I'm going to select no. The next thing I'm going to do is to select OK. So it means that I'm no more saying that it should contain information. If you select Learning Canvas app, it will take you back. So now Learning Canvas app, I have staff name, I have description, my title is still here. Another thing that you can do, you can select your title, go to column setting, show hide column, remove it, and select apply. So we have description, we have staff name, and we have description. We want to quickly add another column, which is a choice field. So what we want to do, we want to build a simple requisition application that will do what? Show staff name, description, and what you are requesting for. So next, requisition application. So this choice is going to be request. Choice make this one, yeah, we can just say leave. Okay. So for this one, we can say laptop, and this one will just say data, right? So some people can come and request for laptop. Maybe they've not given them laptop or their laptop is bad. Some people will come and request for. So let's check our request and see. Edit column setting. So choice 3 did not save. SharePoint doesn't want us to be able to request for data. Okay, now we're good. So now I have a list called Learning Canvas Apps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back now to my Power Apps, go to Add Data, and I am going to select a connector. So I'm going to select the connector, and the connector I'm going to select is, I'll just type in SharePoint. SharePoint. I'll go down. This is SharePoint. So it's saying add a connection, right? Connect Power Apps with SharePoint. Select SharePoint. What do you see? So it says connect to a SharePoint list. Connect to a SharePoint list. So what are we going to do? We're just going to, remember, it is inside site Omolola, and we said Canvas app, learning Canvas app. This is it here. And you're going to say connect. Awesome. So what you have done now is, today you have been able to bring your data into what? Into your Power App. So tomorrow we're going to go ahead and build on this. All right. We're going to go ahead and build on this. So let's just quickly do a simple recap of what we've been able to learn today. So if I play my app, the logo is taking time to load, right? Because it's an image. I brought in an image. So immediately I played my app, it navigated me here. So what we are going to do tomorrow is we are going to add in a control that can help us to take a value, right? It will help us to take the request of this particular user. So this user is Omolola. We're going to bring in a control that would help us to take value, right? Submit this value. Then, of course, once we submit the value, we can now decide to add some automations and do some magic, right? Before we go, I want to quickly show you another thing that you can actually do with label, just to make this app look very real. So I'm going to insert text label, bring in text label here, right? So anytime somebody comes here, I want to say hello, the person that is inside the app. So I'll just type in. Now you want to type in something. You want to type in, say hello. You want to type in. So hello is of data type what? String, because it's a text. Remember double quotes. Go inside and type in hello. Okay. So you want to be able to say hello, the person that is inside the application. So you say hello, comma, put in space, put in the ampersand, right? And say user dot. Remember, user dot will give you different properties. So here, what we're going to say is user dot what? Full name, right? So hello, Omolola Alfred. So tomorrow, like I said, we're going to go, and this app is going to look more beautiful because we'll be able to take values. So you're going to bring in controls like form. We're going to bring in controls like button, to navigate us and all of that. So if you know that you have learned something today, say hi, say hi, say hi, say hi, say hi, say hi, say hi. You should come tomorrow. We are going deeper tomorrow. You learn how to receive values. You can automate it right from within Power Apps, and you will learn other amazing things that we have planned for us. All right. So if you've learned something, say hi. Say hi. We don't want to go past time. So if you've learned something, say hi. Say hi. I can see amazing comments already. I can see, oh, hi. I've learned something. Awesome. So So from the people that are here, if you know that you also have a developer account, please say hi. Let me know the people that we are talking to. You have a developer account. Awesome, 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 awesome. All right. So thank you so much for joining us today. Come tomorrow. Come and learn more things. Before you come tomorrow, ensure that you've replicated everything that we've done. You've added image and you've added other things. Ensure also that you have um, brought in, you created a simple SharePoint list, and you've been able to import your data, your database to your app. All right, over to you, David. Uh, Give us a closing remark and from there.
Yeah, thank you, Amolola. This was fantastic. That was fantastic, to be honest. I'm looking at the chat now. I'm just seeing hi, hi, hi everywhere. So people are responding a lot. I think people really enjoyed this. I think that's very good. So again, this is just as you can see how quickly we're able to put something together in Power Apps, right? Within a few short minutes, we're able to put images, we're able to put text, welcome, Omolola, for instance, are the current logged in user. So if you are the one logged in, let's say your name is James, you say welcome James, something like that, right? Very, very quickly. You can imagine how quickly this was done. And remember, she has been explaining, what she's doing. If she was doing it alone, I'm sure within 5 minutes, 6 minutes, you're already done with that page, right? So this is the power of Power Apps. That's the power inside of Power Apps. That speed, that quick turnaround, to quickly test your ideas with what you're trying to do. So again, this was a fantastic session. We've looked at all kinds of controls. We've looked at label controls. We've looked at navigating to a screen. We looked at the timer control, which is actually very interesting. Like you could see how the timer just automatically moved from one screen to another screen without doing anything. And you can see how quickly that was set up. You can imagine doing that in maybe like a Flutter or all this kind of mobile app development platform to probably require to write a lot of code and like 3 lines of code. But you can see how we just make the page navigate automatically with a nice transition, by the way, from one page to another automatically. So you can see what we can do with Power Apps, and there'll be more. All right. So we already talked about more. So now the next thing will be okay. You have your data, you bring in your form. How do you submit your data back to your how do you submit data from the user back to your database? And that would do that. So it's been very, very fantastic. Please, again, we would send out the links. Some people said they didn't get the resources or the links. We would send that out this night, or maybe tomorrow morning. Sure to get it, and then we'll continue from there. So thank you very much. I think that's all from us. Yeah, thank you. I don't know if there's anything. So bye bye from me.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye. Thank you very much.